to your statement at
Yes,
paragraph
Commissioner.
66. Can you tell us what
Yes.
happened?
Before you go to 66, these exchanges between you and, you say, Mr. Ndlala, where in advance he tells you what the plan is, and you describe this in paragraph 63. You say there was a clear plan what would happen regarding the bail. First, he would be granted bail. Secondly, if he was not granted bail, he would escape from custody. Thirdly, if 1 and 2 failed, the investigating officers would be eliminated. And then you say it was at this point where I was advised to leave the investigation. And then you, again in the next paragraph, say you called him back, where you say I called the person, in paragraph 64, in the third line, you say I called the person who informed me that that is Mr. Ndlala. You called Mr. Ndlala.
That's correct.
All right, and then that Dawu would be granted bail. Before I could tell him what happened, he laughed and said he told me this would happen. He also said that I didn't want to listen to him when he tells me about such things. He said this in a boastful way. Without disclosing anything that might be sensitive about Mr. Ndlala and your engagements with him, did you consider why would he know this kind of detail? That there was a plan, and he details it in the way that I have set it out, and that Mr. Dawu would be released, and in fact, Mr. Dawu does get released.
That's correct. That was one of my concerns, to the extent that I did ask him as to how did he came about to know that he had just been released, because it was a new information. So now I thought he knew more than I knew about the case that I was investigating, meaning that he had a connection somewhere with the people that were involved in the case. That was my understanding of the situation at the time.
Yes. He's not an employee. Mr. Ndlala, you say categorically he's not an employee of the SAPS.
He's not an employee of the SAPS, as far as I will understand.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Sigurds.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Witness A, we were at page 21, paragraph 66 of your statement, where you were dealing with the aftermath of Mr. Tau's bail application succeeding and him being released on bail.
Yes. Then we had a long meeting on the 2nd, that now we took a decision that we need to take steps to report these things to the general, who is now General Kumalo, who is the head of detectives in the province, through Brigadier Khopane, who is our immediate commander at our office. And then this was now on a Saturday, and my leave was starting. I was supposed to have gone somewhere for leave, but I thought I cannot leave until I see that we are getting help on this. And then now we started to be engaged in what I call as a runaround. We were driving around out there trying to figure out what it is that we're going to do, because it was not safe to drive to our places. It was not safe to even go to the office, because now the police were also involved in this. We're trying to get hold of Brigadier Khopane on the phone, and then she was not around the province. She was attending at the funeral outside the province, and then the network was bad. The phone was not going through. Now we wanted to get a hold of General Kumalo, who is the head of detectives. We didn't want to report to any other person junior to those two. But now the challenge that we had, we did not have direct communication with the general at the time. So we were thinking of who was going to connect us to the general and actually be able to lay the frustrations that we're having, and then why we needed to see him, because actually we needed to go to him, even though it was on the weekend, to say this is the problem that we're sitting with. We knew that he knew about the case, but we were not discussing the case openly with him at that time.
It's Witness
And
A,
then
can I
approached.
just ask you, you say that you couldn't get hold of Brigadier Hopani to get assistance. Why didn't you contact your direct commander, Colonel Mokoena?
As I mentioned before, that the directive that we had received from Brigadier Hopani was that anything that has to do with this case should be reported to her or to the general only, no one else. So we were taking it to that level to say, we think the person who can be in a capacity to assist us now will be the brigadier or the general.
And when you speak of the general and you say General Kumalo, could we just ask you to be specific, because there are many General Kumalos, at least two. So if you could be specific to give the name. So in this instance, you say it's General Mbuso Kumalo.
That is correct. This is General Mbuso Kumalo, who is the head of detectives in the province, in Gauteng.
Okay, you may continue.
And then we thought of one of our colleagues who thought he may have a direct communication with the general, and then we drove straight to his house, and then we told him what was happening, and then he tried to call the general there and then, but unfortunately the general could not pick up. Then he said, no, we should relax, the general is going to come back. In fact, he was going to send a detailed WhatsApp message to the general for the general to come either back to him or to us. And then I felt at ease that I could drive outside of the province as I was going on leave, knowing that the general is going to attend to us at any time.
Okay. You also say that you reported the matter to the prosecutor. Can you elaborate on that, please?
The matter was also reported to the prosecutor, but with the prosecutor we had an open communication with every development. So even this one, it was reported to the prosecutor to say this is the challenge that we're facing. But actually, she actually understood the problem that we're facing, and then she asked us about the TRA that we have applied earlier on. Then we told her that we haven't received any results, and then she took it up to herself to write it to our commanders and give them the background of the situation that we're facing, and requesting them to see to it that we are provided with security, not only for us, but also of the docket that we carry.
Why was it important to provide security for the docket as well?
It is because that now we thought that if they do not find us, they will want to find the docket. Once they find the docket, then you will have a problem, because now you won't be having the docket, like the physical docket, it will be gone. That was just our thought. It's not that we knew that this is what was going to happen. To the extent that this docket was not kept where we will keep our docket at the office in our still locked cabinets. We were driving around with it wherever we were going, which was posing another danger to us.
Did you or Witness B ever get hold of General Mbuso Kumalo?
It is General Mbuso Kumalo who came back to us after, I believe, having received the communication from the member that assisted us to get through to him.
So you spoke to the general?
The general phoned me.
And what did he
I
say?
spoke to him. And then he told me that he has heard what has happened. And then he told me that he would want to see us very soon so that we can discuss a way forward. And then I told him that I was on leave, but I was willing to withdraw my leave and come to work. Then he said, no, there won't be a need. As long I am safe wherever I was, he will be communicating or making any arrangements that will be made with witness B until I come back from leave. And then as soon as I came back from leave, we went to General's office, and then he addressed us, he asked us some questions, and then he told us that he's going to assist wherever he can. And then he just gave us the layout, what his wish and what he thinks should happen to this investigation.
Okay, can I just take you a step back while you were still on leave at paragraph 69 on page 22? You speak about an event that
Yes.
occurred on the 8th of August. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. On the 8th of August, I would have been on leave because I think I came back on leave on the 16th, if I'm correct. And then I was informed by witness B that the TRA has been conducted, the threat risk assessment had been conducted, and it was classified as high risk, which in other words meant that our lives were extremely in danger.
And who conducted
And then
that TRA?
Sorry, I didn't get that, Commissioners.
Who conducted that TRA?
It was Colonel Ndlala from Crime Intelligence.
Okay, proceed.
Yes, then when I came back, we started doing our investigation. Then we will be meeting with the officers that were assessing our risk, getting information from us, asking us how we're feeling. That is what we were told. But I would believe that they were also checking the places that we were staying at, even though I didn't know that. But there were background checks that were done on us, I believe.
Okay. And then at paragraph 70, you speak about an incident.
May I, before you go to 70? Witness A, you say in paragraph 67 that you could not, the language you use is you say we could not speak to General Shibiri, and so we thought that we should try to get hold of Major General Mbuso Khumalo. Why could you not speak, why did you decide that you could not speak to General Shibiri?
We had already been advised, commissioners, to say we must not discuss this case with him, if I may say that. And then also the confusion that happened with the parties and us called to his office, we at this time, up until today, we hadn't figured out if it was him assisting us or if it was him trying to get information from the docket and everything. So it was safe to deal with the people that we trusted at the time.
So the reason you decided not to speak to him, it was a trust issue. You didn't think you could trust him.
I will put it in that way, commissioners.
Yes. Ordinarily, if there were no trust issues and you were dealing with this problem that you find yourselves in, and you can't get hold of your immediate superior, I think Brigadier Hopane, ordinarily who would you speak to? Would it have been Shibiri, General Shibiri?
No, it would have been General Mbuso Khumalo because he's at the provisional level then General Shibir is at the national level. So I will exhaust the means of trying to get hold of General Kumalo at the provincial level. And then going to national level will be extreme.
Yes. So in terms of hierarchy, the right person, if you couldn't find Brigadier Hopane, you're saying General Kumalo, Mbuso Kumalo would have been the next person that you speak to if you followed the hierarchy?
That's correct, Commissioner. That will be the next person that you will have to speak to.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Sika.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Okay, so we are now at paragraph 70 on page 22, where you speak about an incident that occurred in the week of the 12th of August when you returned from leave. Can you just tell us about that?
Yes, now I had already resumed duties. Then we were doing normal investigation on this case. And maybe it should be mentioned that we were doing this case and other cases that we already had at the office. So it will be this case and other cases, depending what investigation you have on other cases. And then we were called to come to the office, and then the information was that there were two officers who were waiting for us, or who needed to meet with us at the office. And then we drove to the office, and then we found these two police officers at our office now, at the organized crime office. And then they told us they are from the cold case unit, and then they requested that we give them over the docket of swart murder.
And
one of these warrant officers was identified to us as Dion Mulaudzi, who works at the cold cases office. And then we refused. We said we cannot, because that's procedurally that was wrong. You can't just give the docket to someone because they're requesting for the docket, let alone that this was the sensitive matter that we're investigating. Even if it was just a normal docket that had no threats and everything, you cannot just say, okay, here's the docket, you're looking for it, have it.
Witness A, the form of request, did they have a letter with them, or was it a verbal request?
It was a verbal request.
And who is the head of the cold case unit? Or who was at the time?
I really do not have concrete information. I only heard that the head of the cold case unit will be Brigadier, I just forgot the name. He's Brigadier Keninda, yes, he's heading it, but I have not seen the structure of that unit. I don't know if that is true.
And just for our benefit, what is a cold case in the context of the South African police system?
The cold case is a term given to the cases that one would say they are lying dormant. They have been opened, and then there is no breakthrough for a certain period of time. Then they would be referred to as a cold case, which will then mean that they need a certain or a different approach from a mainstream approach that maybe the station or any other unit will be giving. Then they are ordinarily transferred or given to the cold case unit. But this one of us, it was a fresh case, and it was not called in a way that the people were already arrested and it was caught going. So it didn't really fit the category of it being investigated in that unit to start with.
So you, as one of the investigators, had not yet formed a view that you've hit a dead end with this case?
No. Actually, the progress on the case was wonderful. We were having leads. We were getting closer to even arresting fourth suspect. And then we had good linkages to the suspect that we had already arrested. So there is no way that it could have been referred to as a cold case at that stage.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo.
Is it, witness A, is it not possible that whoever approached you may have considered this to be a cold case because you were not discussing it with anyone? You've testified that a very small circle of people knew anything about this case as per instructions, and there was good reason for it. Is it not possible that there may not have been anything sinister with these two gentlemen who come and ask for it, for the docket?
I wouldn't think so, Commissioner, because even if that would have been the case, the time frame did not allow for this case to be categorized as such. And then besides that, this case was all over the news. You will go around, you will know about this case to say there is 3 people that were arrested for the murder of Mr. Swart in Vereeniging. And for the fact that there was a police officer that was arrested for it, on it, it will be like all over in the media and more so all over in our own connections in the police, our groups and everything. So it was known that it was court going.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. Witness A, we're still on page 23 of your statement. And at paragraph 71, you talk about a meeting that occurred on the 20th of August, 2024. Can you tell us what happened at that meeting?
Yes, this meeting happened just for us so that we can be able to give the progress of the case to the general, because now the general was taking this case under his wing to say we need to report to him the challenges that we are facing so that he can see where he can assist and give a guidance regarding investigation. And also the challenges that now the personal challenges in terms of the threats that we're having. So this was one meeting of the regular meetings that we're having with the general. Some would be just over the phone if he has time. If he doesn't have time, then if he has time, he will call us to his office to say, brief me, what is happening here? More so because now Tao was out on bail. And then we needed now to be investigating the murder case and then also putting an eye on him, on his movement.
And you speak about the responsibility for your safety and security of the docket. What transpired there?
Oh, yes, that was solely taken over by General Kumalo. And then he told us that he will see to it that we will get the assistance that we need in terms of safety. And then he introduced us to the people that were going to assist us in terms of protection.
And who was that who was now responsible for your safety and the security of the docket?
We were introduced to General Kekana, who is, I think, the head of the uniform units in Gauteng, to say he will provide you with the members that will be in charge of your safety or your protection while you are doing the docket and while you are off duty. And then at the same time, there was another wing of the police that was going to be working behind the scenes, which I'm not at liberty to talk about their operations because I don't know about them, but they are from counterintelligence. They were doing the TRA, they were doing the background checks, they were seeing the severity of the risk, and then maybe reporting to the generals, I don't know, but they were also part of the operation by then.
You refer in your statement at paragraph 71 to a counterintelligence investigation. Is that what you just mentioned now, or is that something else?
Initially, the counterintelligence came in as far as giving protection and assessing the situation, maybe which then led to the counterintelligence investigation to say the investigation itself, now the overall investigation need to be taken under the counterintelligence. I will talk to that extent. But initially, it was not the counterintelligence doing investigation. It was us doing investigation under their protection up until the time when now we were introduced to their wing of investigation, which included the PKTT, as it is called.
Okay. At paragraph 72, maybe that would be the concluding topic for today. You speak about events of the 5th of September 2024. Can you just tell us what happened on that day?
This one was one of the eventful days because we were not already provided with the units that were going to guard us. So we were visited at home late at night by the unit that needed to guide us and guard us or provide protection to us and our families as we were sleeping. And then it came as a surprise because we were not really noticed or given a notice to say people are going to visit you at night. From my side, I heard by the sirens outside, and then when I opened the window, I saw 5 marked police vehicles with the sirens and blue lights on. And then when I went to them, they told that they were being tasked to come give protection to me overnight. And then in the morning, the other team was going to take over. That one will be the TRT. And then we will be doing investigation, and then the other team that came at night will come change. They were changing shifts.
So was it 24-hour protection?
It was actually the start of a 24-hour protection.
Thank you, Chair. I think this may be a convenient time to adjourn for the day.
Let us adjourn and resume at 9:30 tomorrow.